No, I think it's periodic, it's episodic. Do most people care whether women get appropriate jobs? Probably not. But when a rare opportunity comes along where the cameras are all shining on one venue, that's the time you would hope that something would be done. So I think, frankly, the Kavanaugh debate may have a external effect that may be good and may be bad, because you want, I think, women as a gender, as a set of humans who have children, who might also be female, to have a fair chance at having a shot at, and showing how you can lead, how you can be gracious and articulate and cajoling and effective, and yet, gosh darn it, be a female. It's not that common to most people.
When you look at the world landscape, I know that Saudi women behind the wheel of a car, that was a big story earlier this year. Give me your sense of where we stand.
I think the role of women in Saudi Arabia and elsewhere, but they're still largely confined to the household, and the king is carefully picking out more public roles that they can fulfill and not seem unctuous or overbearing. So that's a slow-changing country.
Women's access to education.
Women aren't taken seriously. The boy comes first, whether it's from a bar mitzvah versus a bas mitzvah. There's so many occasions when, because males are stronger and they are taller and they have been around in certain kinds of decision-making venues for longer than others, they still tend to get preference.
You were a clerk for a Supreme Court justice. Of course, this documentary in the last year or so about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, it showed kind of her path to where she got to, which was a very difficult one, and I suspect yours probably was as well. How have times changed, do you think?
Well, let me first tell you a real quick funny story about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Her husband was a real supportive, amazing guy, and what got her, in some people think, on the Supreme Court, was that one day Boone Pickens had a problem that he needed solving in Texas. And he knew of Marty Ginsburg, who's also quite a brilliant guy, and flew him down. And basically, Mr. Ginsburg solved the problem before he got off the airplane. And so then Pickens asked Mr. Ginsburg, what can we do for you? What can I do for you? And he said, get my wife on the Supreme Court. Of course, he was on a circuit court before that. but that was a fine figure of a husband.
Absolutely.
and you really need one of those to allow females to succeed.
But you didn't answer my question. How tough was your road to get to where you are today? And how tough is it for women today?
Well, you pick your shots. You don't get everything you want. If you look around, how many women are deans of major or presidents of major universities? That's very small. How many women get chosen to have significant capacities and opportunities in the House and Senate? I think, in my case, the fact that I was partly from New York, and New Yorkers tend to be pretty bodacious and in your face, was actually a great gift. Maybe I was less mannerly than a lady from the South, but it means you can't wait for anybody else to give you the chance to talk. You interrupt, you talk loudly, you use words that are pointed. You also learn to say things quickly for fear that you will not have another chance.